we'll just introduce ourselves. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Laura.
I'm Isabella.
And I'm John. Or Johnny.
Johnny, right. All right. And we're bringing you some very exciting news. John Scott, our yoga teacher and also direct student of Sri K. Pattabhi Jois, is going to be in the Dominican Republic for a retreat with us, a Transcendental Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga adventure, April 20th to 25th in Cabarete, Dominican Republic. So we're super excited to have you, John, and we're really excited to have this retreat happen. So thank you so much.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we're very excited to have you. So maybe we could just share a little bit about the practice that we're going to have there so people are prepared a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What to expect, like the morning, okay. What are we doing in the morning?
Right.
Well, every workshop starts off with meeting everybody. And we can never plan in advance. We can never plan anything because nothing ever goes to plan. So it's really about meeting the people, seeing who's there, acknowledging everyone and acknowledging where they're at in their day, in their life, in their practice. And so we need to first of all meet, and then we can assess where we move from there in terms of how we start. For me, it's always best to start off with taking charge, like taking control, i.e. being the director or being the counter for everybody and counting everybody through, so I can pass on, like a transcendental TM meditation teacher, to pass on the mantra that Pattabhi Jois gave me, which is the counted method. And so I really need to start off with the way I would like to see the retreat take off, fly and land. And basically, I really do want to share with everybody what has been my rock for the past 30 plus years. And that simply has been using what Pattabhi Jois called the counted method. It's very difficult to install that program. Yeah, and so I need to start with that first to initiate people. So a good word is to initiate people into Transcendental Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga. Why I call it Transcendental Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga is quite simply is we want to transcend just the asana part of Ashtanga. We want to transcend into the pranayama part. We want to transcend into the meditation. And so in order for us to use our body and our breath and our mind as an instrument of consciousness to free ourselves from, let's say, the conditioned existence, we really have to encompass all of Ashtanga, not just the asana, the third limb. And so really at the very beginning of the workshop, I have to convey that message. In the process of conveying that message, obviously there's always going to be a response from the collective group. Now, from my experience, the response usually is reaction.
Yes.
Okay, and so what that then means is that if I see quite a lot of reaction, then I realize that the practice that the practitioner is doing isn't transcending them from the bonds of their conditioned patterns. And so one of the other beautiful messages from Pattabhi Jois, if I may call him Guruji, because he is my guru, my Guruji. One of the special things that he gave me was counted method, but also make noise with sound. He was always referring to the breath, and the breath is to have sound. And what that really, if we analyze it, means is that he was introducing that yoga starts with listening. So most of us do not even listen to ourselves when we're practicing. And so the message is there again. We have to meet ourselves And so as the facilitator of the retreat, I've got to first of all meet everybody, establish where everybody's at, and see if I can get everybody into that same place, first of all, of the receptivity of listening to their own breath. Yeah? In order for them then to listen to their own voice, in order then for them to be able to listen or feel their actions. Yeah? So that's a big step. That's a big step, and so I can't project forward into the future what the group's going to be like. And so that's my first task, is to meet everybody, assess everybody, and then say, okay, we need to start here.
Definitely. And I really enjoyed when we saw you in Portugal last summer, how free-flowing the whole format was. You know, there was kind of a schedule, but then at the same time, it was also, you know, you assessed the group, you saw where everyone was at, you know, looked at everyone's body mechanics, their breath, you know, where they need a little bit more extra loving, if you will, and really met each student where they were at on the mat and in whichever journey of their yoga practice. So.
Well, I can come in there, Laura, on the word flow, and you said flow. I can come in there. In order for us to flow, each and every one of us needs to be listening so that then we can respond. Now, if we use the word respond is introducing what our sole responsibility is as a human being in this experience, as living experiences, to learn what responsibility is. And unfortunately, our conditioned existence and the way we're educated and taught and programmed is to be responding to the outside environment. And most of the time, we're in reaction to what's happening around us. And so when I'm meeting and greeting and bringing the group together, we've got to start listening, but then to learn how to respond, meaning it's our responsibility for each and every one of us to learn how our ability to respond is our connection to the tools and techniques of our yoga practice. And so once again, as the facilitator, in order for me to facilitate a retreat to flow, I have to be in that place where my responsibility is I'm holding space for everybody, and therefore in the process of holding space, my response is really important. I can't go into reaction. I have to go into my responding to go, okay, I have to respond this way to meet this student and this way to meet that student. Can I bring them together? Can I bring the group together? And so let's start saying that from the counted method, from the breath, we're learning to respond. We're really learning to flow alive. And so we're learning to flow with our yoga practice. Our responsibility is to listen to ourselves in the practice. And so what you experienced then in Portugal was simply just understanding, I think, what it means to be a yoga teacher is to realize that you're a facilitator of other people's energy. And how do we get that energy to flow? And so I have to respond in the moment.